Um, hey everybody, we are back, the Hurricane HQ, and 1 second. I'm not totally sure if we're live right now. Hey everybody, if you're watching this, I'm not totally sure if we are live. Alright, we are live. Alright, I'm sorry everybody, we are officially live, and today we have our live 10 a.m. tropical update for August 20th, 2020, and our current news is we could possibly have some possibly major impacts from newly formed Tropical Depression 13. Let's get started. Today's comment of the day is the same as yesterday. It is from us, and I would just like to let everybody know that our website is officially optimized for computer and smartphone, tablet. It depends how you use it, horizontal or vertical, and size of the screen. So I'll leave the link in the description to our website where you can find all the latest maps and data on the systems we talk about in the video. And yesterday I was talking about the new setup that we just got. And this is a slight improvement from what we had. Originally I just had the laptop, but now we have the second screen along with this tablet here and the microphone. And this should help the videos a little bit and help my videos be a little bit more accurate, and mostly to help me. So here's our Atlantic disturbances over the next 5 days, and as you can see here, we have 3. This is Tropical Depression 13, which formed as of 5 a.m. this morning, and here we actually have a 40% chance of developing in the next 5 days. This is not considered an invest yet, although it's most likely will become an invest in the following few days. And over here is invest 97L. Still hasn't developed, although those chances are 90% in both the next 2 days and 5 days. And here's our current Atlantic Basin image. I finally got this to work, and this is as of 10 a.m. And as you can see, we have our Invest 97L over here, Tropical Depression 13 here, and our area to watch, or Disturbance 3, right over here, and possibly even some more tropical waves in Africa. And here's our average forecast tracks for August. And as you can see, most of these tropical waves do follow this path and either go up this way or up this way, and this one most likely is going to head south of Florida into the Gulf, although it could still go up the East Coast, so that's still something to watch. And here is our forecast for Tropical Depression 13, and right here is the Hurricane HQ's possible impacts forecast, and basically anywhere with this red is where we could have possibly even major impacts, because this actually may develop into a hurricane as it nears this area, although it can weaken as it passes by Florida. This is still unknown, and it also can still go up the East Coast. This is something to watch. The models are kind of uneasy, although most of the models do show heading through Florida for now, so this is something definitely to watch. And actually over here we have our first tropical storm watches, so that's something we have to look out for too. And here is our brand new thing that we just got up to the channel. It's the Hurricane HQ's own intensity guidance models, and I actually made this model based on the official one and basically just made it a bit more easier to read. And everybody, make sure you read the official ones. This is only to help you understand the official ones, and make sure you do use the official ones to make the decisions. And this is unofficial. Although we see it's probably going to continue as tropical depression all the way up until around here, will most likely develop to a tropical storm and possibly even form into a hurricane in the Gulf. And I'm saying the max for this system is Cat 2. For the most likely model. And we're most likely not going to see any impacts for the entire East Coast other than Florida and the Gulf. Possibly just some rain and slightly higher winds. And here's our highest reasonable forecasts for the Hurricane HQ. And this is basically the max that this channel what I think is possible. And I think the max is Category 4. Although, let me tell you, everybody, that this is not exactly that possible. The possibility of that's a little bit lower. Although it is a possibility, and this is our highest reasonable model, and we most likely see it developing a little quicker into a tropical storm and just embracing that warmer water and possibly developing into a Category 3 or 4 as it hits Florida Panhandle, possibly Alabama, and maybe even some impacts in Louisiana. Although, again, this is unofficial, and don't use this to make decisions. And now we have Area of Investigation Invest 97L, and now let's take a look on the official forecast right now. And right now, Invest 97L, mostly these models are showing it heading basically up into the Gulf. Possibly some impacts on the Gulf Coast, and make sure you check out yesterday's video for a bit more information on the forecast yesterday. And now I'd like to take a look at the tropical tidbits forecast for (13L), I believe. Yeah, tropical depression 13. And again, we've already seen that cone. Although, let's take a look at these models. The European is basically what's showing it heading right through Florida into the Gulf. Although, actually, the GFS shows otherwise. While most of these models do head into this Gulf area, a lot of them do come out decently strong, possibly even tropical storm through the very mid-Atlantic to northeast area, and possibly some impacts there too. It's definitely something to watch, and I was looking at these models, and some of them, if you look closely, do show it getting quite powerful. So that's why that highest reasonable forecast from us has started. And here's our Canadian model, actually. Most of these things actually show it heading up the East Coast, which is definitely possible. This one seems a little bit more accurate, only because it doesn't go everywhere. Although still, it's a mess, and I wouldn't really use it to make decisions yet. Although we are getting a lot of agreement that it's going to head this way. And our intensity guidance model, most of these show it heading Category 1 and possibly even Cat 2. Although a very low amount of them gets a Cat 4, and that is why my storm max, I guess, for category would probably be around Category 5. Probably nothing higher than that, although I'm not going to rule any of this stuff out. And now let's take a look at Invest 97L. And here are the spaghetti models. This is European, and a lot of them show it hitting Texas. And here's the GFS, and the GFS shows it staying quite weak. Barely even gaining strength, and maybe not even developing, although it is highly likely. And possibly a hurricane, a very weak one in the Gulf, although I don't expect too much. The Canadian model does show models going all over the Gulf area, and basically the U.S. is like a very high chance of it actually hitting the U.S. now at this point. And I think the entire Gulf Coast should brace for impact, but no one knows exactly what's causing or when it's going to impact. So I would wait until the official cone is out to start preparing. And here's our intensity guidance, and most of these models take it into tropical storm status, but only one of them takes it to hurricane status, and I didn't actually bother making the Hurricane HQ forecast for this one, only because it's not forecast to get strong, and most likely not too many impacts, although Category 1 can definitely cause a lot of problems. And now I would like to take a look at the current infrared plus image, if this will work. Well, I'm not going to waste time on this. Now we're going to take a look at the windy forecast, and most of these areas to watch, like especially this tropical depression, it shows up to 35 miles per hour winds, which I believe is correct. And I don't think there's too much to watch, especially over here. A little bit, actually, it looks smaller. But I would also like to bring up something that's actually impacting Baja California, and that is Hurricane Genevieve. And right now, I believe it's currently Cat 1 right now. I haven't been tracking it as much as all these other systems, so I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look at the tropical tidbits. I believe they say Genevieve. It is a hurricane, so it must be below Category 3. It looks like Category 1 right now. Alright, so it does look like a Category 1 hurricane right now. And we're seeing tropical storm warnings up for a whole bunch of the eastern coast of Baja California, southeast area. The very south actually has hurricane warnings are still up, and winds of hurricane speeds are possible, which are over 75 miles per hour sustained. And we actually have a tropical storm watch over here towards the Gulf Coast, so it's possible for some of those tropical storm force winds. And our spaghetti models basically show it heading right up, although we've been seeing a lot more nearing California, so possibly some not too severe impacts there. Possibly some enhanced rainfall and winds, although nothing too bad, I believe. And most of these models don't exactly show it getting any stronger. And the intensity guidance, okay, yes, it is a Category 1 hurricane on the very edge of tropical storm status, and it is weakening. None of these show any strengthening at all. It's all weakening until it gets quite low to tropical storm. A few of these models do show slight enhancement, although I don't believe any is really possible with the system as it moves into quite cold water. Now let's take a look at the windy forecast for the system, and right now let's see if we can see those hurricane force winds, which I believe we can't. Right now we're only seeing tropical storm force winds up to 60 miles per hour. The GFS shows slightly stronger, actually in the 70s, which is getting close to hurricane force. I could definitely see where they're getting those numbers. And let's see if the NAM or NAM, it hasn't really reached NAM forecast yet. It's kind of entering this area, so I believe we still can't use it. Although, let's take a look at the ECMWF wind gusts. And wind gusts possibly up to around 100 miles per hour, which is hurricane force gusts. GFS model, we are seeing also hurricane force gusts, not as strong, although we are seeing those hurricane force gusts. And let's see if we can go ahead in the future and see if this NAM forecasts it just shows a lot of weakening. Alright, so the closest thing I can find is 10 p.m. today, and we're going to be seeing winds of up to 93 miles per hour. Oh, these are wind gusts of 93 miles per hour. winds of probably around 74 miles per hour, which is officially tropical storm force. And I would like to take a look at our wave heights right now, and you could see these waves are actually moving in a circular motion right now, which is quite interesting to see in these systems. And right now we have up to around 30 feet, 30 foot waves near the eye. Along the coast, not as bad as originally predicted. And seems as these islands are actually kind of protecting the very coasts from these heavy waves. Although the coast, you could be slammed with like up to 10 foot waves probably. So definitely something to watch. And I'm not totally sure what's going on there. And currently with Tropical Depression 13, we're seeing waves up to around 10 feet. Nothing too serious there. And in also this other area to watch, also around 10 feet. Our other area around here is, you could barely see anything. Only a slight increase in waves, only about 7 feet. So I wouldn't say anything too bad with that. And wow, these wave heights actually get quite high down here. I never did realize that. And now let's go with the sea surface temperatures, and you'll see these do kind of like start to decrease as it would approach California. California probably getting around 63 degrees Fahrenheit in sea surface temperatures, and these storms don't really thrive in that cooler water. Although the Atlantic is quite warm, and if only this warmer water extended to here, we could have a major storms still at California, possibly even at reaching Cat 5. And let's look at the rain thunder forecast from Windy. And we could see a little bit of an eye. I'm not totally sure why the eye is there. Probably just a malfunction. Although it shows light thunder in this area, so most likely no really thunderstorms, just heavy rain within the system. Also, let's take a look at a few more models here. Actually, I would like to show everybody one more thing from Travel Tidbits, if I can find it. I would like to find... Alright, I believe this is it. Yes, so this is it. Alright. So right here, you could see... let's see if we can head into the future. I'm not totally sure. This is the first time I'm ever using this, so... I'm not totally sure how to use this correctly. I'm sorry, everybody. Alright. Well... Alright, here we go. Let's use the GFS model, and how about on Invest 98L? Let's see. Alright, let's see if this works. Most likely, oh, here, I'm sorry, everybody. So here's our rainfall amounts. You can see some heavy rain in this area. You could definitely... Whoa! So this model is actually showing... Alright. Alright, this is actually very interesting right here. So... let's see if we can start up here. And if we could slowly start to play, and it's a little hard to see where it is right now, although right now it's right south of Florida, where not current time, but on this radar it's right here. Here's Florida. Now we have to jump here. You can see it's actually bringing a lot of rainfall to Florida, and these heavy rains can actually affect South Florida, and it looks like a direct hit there. And the storm looks like it's about to turn into the Florida Panhandle. Set the GFS, and it's actually showing it actually head a bit south of Delaware, although possibly bring some heavier rainfall to the mid-Atlantic areas. And it looks like it's actually going to head on a similar route from our own forecasts. As you can see right here, we actually show it heading out a very similar way. We show it heading out as it traveled. Well, our two models look a little different, although our worst case scenario model shows it leaving kind of in the same area, while our a little bit more realistic model shows it heading a bit more north, more affecting South Jersey and Delaware as a tropical depression, and most likely not really gaining much strength as it heads back out. And if anyone has any questions, I can just leave them in the comment section and I can answer them at the end of the video. And here's our atmospheric moisture levels, and I believe when it passes over here, it's actually not going to remain as strong. That's why it's just going to not strengthen as fast. Although once it gets into the Gulf, it's a little bit wetter, and it could help its development. And here's our tropical intensity index, 1 second. And you can see over here is highly unfavorable, like I was saying. The Gulf also looks unfavorable, although that's right now, and that will most likely change over the next few days. I know in the Gulf, the waters are actually really warm, above average. And here's our sea surface temperature, ocean heat content, and as you can see, it's quite warm around here. And here's our sea surface temperature anomalies, and over here you can see there's a little bit warmer water, a bit over average. I believe this very yellow is average, and this area is actually above average right now. And all the way up, actually up here, it's actually very above average, up to like, I believe this is in degrees, 2 degrees warmer. So, yeah, these are in degrees, and a lot of these areas are above average. This year we've seen a lot of above average sea surface temperatures, and that could help this system invest 97L as it moves into the Gulf and possibly even become a Category 1 hurricane. And here's another model. You could see over here the Gulf is quite warm, although once you start coming up, these temperatures actually start to decrease, although even though they still are above average, they are usually quite cold. And that is most of our maps. If anyone has any questions, I can answer them now. You can just put them in the comment section. If I can find the comment section. Strange. I'm not totally sure what's going on here in this. It's like not exactly showing me everything it should be. Although we could just head right over. Now I just want to show you guys one more model for the system. I want to show the CMC model for here. And I'm not totally sure what this is. US98L. Did I miss something? I'm not totally sure what this is. Okay, alright, I'm sorry. So right here, you can see, I'm not totally sure where this is, but it will continue to move. Alright, so here looks like the Leeward Islands. Alright, so right here is Dominican Republic. And this one shows it actually being a slightly stronger. And it shows it going through Florida and actually up the East Coast more. And it shows it really affecting the entire East Coast up to around Delaware. Possibly some rain more in the mid-Atlantic. Well, that's an interesting model. And here's our global model for this system. And after I show this, I'm most likely going to... Alright, here's the ECMWF model. I believe this is actually showing the high and low pressure systems. As we go later in the week, we should probably see a low pressure system. Alright, so right here, looks like Gingivive right here. And when we continue ahead, we should probably see a low pressure system start to move in. Yeah, so right here, it looks like Invest 97L right here. This looks like our low pressure system. Let's see if we can find our other system, which we can't. Well, at least we did see Invest 97L on the ECMWF model, and I guess this is going to wrap up this video. I would like to show everybody one more thing. This is actually the official Hurricane HQ website, and you can find all the current storms. You can see the latest infrared plus image and the current cone if there is one, and possibly even more data. If you have any questions or comments on the website, so leave them right here. And we have the SPC outlook for the United States. We have the latest live updates right here. And we have our tropical weather discussion from NOAA, which will be updated every update. And make sure you check out our website, follow us on Vimeo, subscribe to our channel, ring that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.